Good morning to you and welcome to No Limit. My name is Nick McKay, hoping that I find you well wherever you are in the world. And of course, this morning here we are joined by the senior pastor of the Shane Ministries all the way from Ghana. Sir, good morning and welcome to No Limit.
Morning, sir. I'm very happy to see you.
Can you just introduce yourself, your name and where you're from?
My name is Nathaniel Opare Yeboah. I'm from Ghana. That is the place I was born and raised. And by the grace of God, I'm the senior pastor of the Shane Ministries, as you rightly said, and then also the president of Nathaniel Opare Yeboah Apostolic Ministry.
Today we are talking about mentorship, something that has taken over Africa, where every man of God, every businessman wants to be associated by someone big, and in the Christian circles, it's someone with power. Probably, as we start, when were you? How did you know that you were called?
To be called of God, apart from, there are so many ways that the call of God can come to you, but the greatest of it is you having encounter with God, either by audible, by vision, by visual, but the greatest is your inner convictions. So if really God is calling you, it's something that you have the inner witness or conviction, apart from maybe you seeing a vision or a dream or God appearing to you. But the greatest or the common is the inner convictions.
So after being convinced inwardly, how long did it take you to probably consider yourself to get a mentor, and how did you get to select your mentor?
We have to come to a place to understand that you cannot downplay and underestimate the importance of mentorship. The reason is because I define mentorship as wisdom in acceleration, because there is a place that somebody have been that you have not, or you are yet to be, and there is a realm that somebody has occupied that you are yet to occupy. There is a place somebody knows that you don't know. So that is when mentorship comes in, so that that person can be able to, by way of experience, also give you tutorial to be able to get there and become what he or he and she is. So when I received the call, by the grace of God, some way, somehow, the Lord connected me to a man by the name Frederick Bedu, who was actually a pastor in Zayuja Forward in Faith, and then introduced me into their Bible school in Ghana. So I went to the Bible school for 3 years, and I had an encounter with Baba Guti. So he instructed that I come also to do 1 year at Amphik.
Okay.
So through that, I was able to find my feet in my calling, and then saw Baba Guti as a spiritual father and came under his mentorship.
And after starting, you started your ministry, right?
Yes.
That is in the 2000s.
Yes.
And did you at one time go without a mentor, or you just started through and through with a mentor?
You start without a mentor, definitely, because when God is calling you, he called you alone. And then you must be able to find a mentorship based on the assignment that God have called you, the type of ministry you have. And then just so you don't just choose a mentor. You choose a mentor who is actually going where you are going, who has actually been where you are going, and then also has an experience of the kind of ministry you have and the gift you operate in. So because he has been there, he can use his experience also to bring you up.
Now, you're talking of experience. We are talking of Ezekiel Guti.
Yes.
we are talking of you being in Ghana, two different places.
Yes.
How did you get to select to make him your mentor? Because he's had obviously a different experience, a Zimbabwean experience, you having a Ghana experience.
Yes. When I talk about experience, I'm not talking about geographical location in lieu of where you are. I'm talking about experience, which is the general knowledge of God. So what God is saying in Zimbabwe is the same thing he's saying in Ghana. The principles of God does not vary based on geographical location. You understand?
Yes.
So the principle to succeed in ministry is not geographical located. So if it works in Zimbabwe, it can also work in Ghana. So I'm looking at the things that the man of God have allowed himself to go through to become who he is today. So I realized that if I submit to him, he can be able to use that experience he has had in ministry to also help me to become that which God wants me to be. So it's not actually about geographical location.
It's not about geographical location. We'll be right back after these messages.
Greetings. Welcome to the second edition of the In Conversation with Trevor South Africa series. We are back with a bang, going beyond the headlines and beyond the sensational. On this second edition, I sit down with thought leaders and we discuss their leadership journeys. Don't miss out on this exciting second edition of the South Africa series.
Welcome back, welcome back. Welcome to the second segment of No Limit. And of course, today we are talking mentorship. And of course, we continue now. We are talking mentorship. We are now in a different generation that is so hungry and that wants to take things to the next level. And you are also a mentor and you have mentees.
Yeah.
What criteria do you use to get someone on board?
If somebody approach me and then says, I want you to mentor me or father me, the first thing I do is I pray about it. If I'm the right person to do that. Because sometimes you mustn't, anytime you take another man's job and do, you would never get the reward you needed. Because I'm saying this one based on experience. So now I'm not quick in accepting somebody as a son or a daughter in the Lord or to mentor because of experience. I first of all pray about it and then also look at the person's willingness. So I will sit you down and then tell you, this is the way I train people. If you are ready to go through that, then we are good to go. But if not, then I think you have to find the right person to do that. That I will first of all want God to speak to me about it before. Then I will sit you down and tell you, this is it. If you are ready, then let's set it rolling. So it is me that is going to determine what needs to be done. It's not you. And maybe my way of mentoring might not be pleasurable to you. It can be discomfort if you are willing. Because what I know by the grace of God, apart from the experience I had and some things that I read about Baba Guti and then studying him from afar and the things that he was doing, it took me so many years to get it. So it's a price paid to get to this far. So if I'm taking a minute to offload them into you, I must not waste it. So I sit you down. This is the way we're going to do it. If we accept it, then we set it rolling so that both you and me can be rewarded at the same time or get the blessing we want together.
Now you talk of sons, you talk of daughters, and as I look at it, it's mostly sons that will say, my father, my father.
Yes.
Do you have so many daughters coming to you?
I have so many sons and daughters that by the grace of God, in my 27 years of ministry, I've been able to raise. You so have a lot of them. And on daily basis, people come, I want you to father me, I want you to. So I'll put you into a questionnaire, and then I ask you to hold on. Let me also pray about it and then get back to you. If I get the green light, then we'll do the questionnaire, and then I'll also put my program on board. Then we pick it from there.
Yeah, because I want to know the ratio of females and males. Do you have more females or you've got more males?
Oh, probably, you know, when it comes to ministry, because I do ministry, the male are plenty than are many than the female.
Why would that be?
Especially in Africa, you know, women are afraid of ministry. So you realize that when you look at even the leadership in Africa in terms of church, you realize that the male are plenty than the female. That is what it is.
Now, you'd find that in the 1980s, I'm sure mentorship was there.
Yes.
And no one really widely spoke about their father or who is mentoring them. But why is it now in the 2000s that someone wants to be identified by Prophet XYZ as their father, Mother XYZ as his mother?
Okay.
Why is it that way?
I was born in 70s. And so growing into 80s, I saw mentorship, I saw fatherhood, father and son relationship. It has been there in the Bible. So it has been there throughout. The problem now is that in 80s, in 70s and 80s, there were no social media. So when somebody is doing something, he's doing it in the corner. There is not a place to, you know, to see them. But now there is social media. Something little is over there, all over the world. So because of the age today with the technology, it makes it look as if, you know, 80s, it was not there. It has been there from Bible days up to date. But just that information now is easy to get. That is why it's becoming too loud like that.
So it's because of social media, so it's sort of like has been ignited to show that XYZ's father, XYZ's mother.
Because, Baba, the truth of the matter is that fatherhood, mentoring, can never be done away as far as life in general is concerned. All of us are not the same. All of us are not the same.
But is there a price that has to be given to you probably as a tithe, or is just mentorship? Are you paid for your time, or maybe make it clear to us?
I do mentorship without a price tag. But a faithful son or a person who can trace his blessing from a source, one of the things that makes him faithful is to actually appreciate and become faithful to that particular source. Otherwise, you become very ungrateful. Even our God who created the heavens and the earth, if he does things for you and you don't recognize him and appreciate him, he will never give you the second chance to do it. That is why some people came to Jesus, he prayed for them. 10 people, only one person came and said, thank you. That person's miracle was made whole. And the rest of the 9 sicknesses came back. Because God, even God, appreciate gratitude. So even though me, I will not put a price tag on what I do, but the onus is on you to actually say thank you. For example, yesterday I was there, one of the guys came to me and said, Papa, thank you so much. Whatever I am today, it is you. I say it everywhere and I don't take it for granted. I came with a little seed and then he dropped it and left. But when I was mentoring him, I didn't charge him for anything. Because when Baba Guti was mentoring me, he did not charge me. So I can't do that to anybody.
Okay, mentoring is about directing someone.
Yes.
You are in Ghana, someone is in Nigeria. How do you monitor? How are you monitoring these people?
Another thing is that my mentorship is not imposing. I tell it in our church that I don't see everybody here as my spiritual son and daughter. It is only those who see me as their spiritual father. They are the people that I operate as a spiritual father. So if you said Apostle Nat is my spiritual father, you must be able to give me a report of whatever you are doing. I must be able to know. You have to come to me and say, Papa, this. Then I will come to you, okay, do this way, do this, do that. It will help you. So that is it. So you must be able to give me the room by reporting to me and also showing me the areas at which you need help. And then I will also tell you how to go about it.
Okay, now we are living at a time whereby, it is the church of God, but it's become more of a fashion show. We have pastors, prophets displaying their cars, displaying that they can put on the expensive label, and sometimes very little is being done in terms of ministry. And in your mentoring, are you doing anything to address that?
This question is very, very necessary, and I like it when you bring it up because it's an area that I really want to actually address. I disagree with the word you use that is becoming a fashion. It's never a fashion. Africa, the emanation of the gospel in Africa is what have made it so. This is it. The white came here to teach us how to be poor and then invested in Africa. So what they do is that they taught the church how to receive, but we are not taught how to give. So they will come here, spend their own money, come and preach, come with a free Bible, free clothing, and then they will go bless and keep us in poverty. And so little expression of wealth, we see it as extravagant. But check the Bible. Jesus died, and the cloth that he was left at the graveyard, rich people were casting ballot on it as to who should buy that, because it was a quality cloth that it has never existed before. Check the Bible. Solomon was billionaire. David was a billionaire. There was no any poor man of God in the Bible except Lazarus. There was not. Even Jesus did not travel with chariot. He traveled with sheep. It's a present day jet and aeroplane. That one is okay. But I use $1 million to buy a car, and somebody criticizes it. What is wrong to express the glory of God? And you cannot express the glory of God without the riches of God, because the glory of God in its expression is the riches of God. So the blessing of God is there, and we must be able to express it. But my point is the motive at which I am doing it.
So you saying it's okay to drive the $1 million car? It's okay to, dress in that expensive designer?
One day Jesus entered a house, and then a prostitute who has worked the whole year used her money to buy a perfume and broke it at the feet of Jesus. And the same as people think today, some people think today about Christianity and the gospel. Judas Iscariot came and said, no, why do you allow this woman to break this expensive thing on your feet? The poor are there, we have to feed them. Jesus said, leave her alone. The poor, you would always have them, because poverty is a choice. Poverty is a choice. And then I will not also look at your poverty and deny myself the kind of life I have to live.
So in other words, you're saying a man of God munhu waMwari ngaadye mari.
A man of God who speaks the mind of God and teach the ways of God must also express the ability and the blessings of God through what he wears and what he drives. We always say that our God is blessed. And you want me to say God is blessed and my shoes are torn?
No, we were just saying live an average life. I remember my pastors in the 1990s, they were average.
The level, your average life is defined by you. What of my 1 million car is my average? So you cannot use your average to define my average. It's extremely important. And that is the African mindset. And we must be quickly as possible get out of that particular mindset. Because the blessing you criticize, you speak yourself out of it. And the principles I've taken is this. If Ezekiel Guti will not do it, he has his reason for that. If he said, I don't want to own a jet, he has his reason for that. I want to own it. But you can't say because he didn't do it, if I do it, it's wrong. As long as I've not stolen anybody's money. But let me tell you something. The reason why people are saying that they think we are making ourselves rich at the expense of the poor. Me, I started the Shen Ministries. My resources and everything, I was doing everything with my own money. That's why nobody was seeing it. When you come to my house right now, I take care of people. I pay people's school fees. I pay people rentals. If those people, I pay their rentals today, tomorrow they become billionaires. And they said, Baba, every year I'm going to give you 1 million. And I take it. That is me, not church offering. And then I said, okay, I'm going to buy a car. He said, hey, he's making himself extravagant. But when I was investing in the people, praying for them, fasting for them, teaching them the word of God, feeding them, that one nobody saw it. But now
We are seeing the cars.
yes, because I'm eating from the fruit of my labor.
So do you teach in your mentorship classes, although I know it differs and varies from what someone is looking for from you, do you teach them how to invest?
Yes, I tell them that this work, called the work of God that we are getting ourselves into, it has made the poor rich. It has made the blind to see. It has made the weak to be strong. But the secret is you must be faithful, honest with what you are doing. And your faithfulness, number one, must be unto God who has called you and the people he has called you to serve. Our ministry, the Shen ministry, is about 17 years now. I've never counted church money before. The only time I see what we have in our account is when they are doing a presentation of the budgetary of the church. I've never. Let me take you to the next level. I've never been paid by the church. I've never been paid by the church. I'm not on salary.
So if you've never been paid by the church, so who's paying you?
If I come to preach for you and you said, Baba, this is my holinarium, I feed on it. Somebody comes, Baba, I have this particular problem. Okay, let's fast and pray. Breakthrough comes and he said, I'm blessing you. That is me. It's not for the church.
The mentee comes and blesses
That is
you.
it. That is it.
So are
When
you
somebody comes and said, this seed is to help the work of God, I give it to the church. If it says this seed is for you, I spend it. That is my principle.
So are you telling me that if I am to come for mentorship, there is no fee, one-on-one fee?
No. I don't charge. But somebody else may charge. He may have his reason for that. I don't criticize it.
We'll be right back after these messages.
Greetings. Welcome to the second edition of the In Conversation with Trevor South Africa series. We are back with a bang, going beyond the headlines and beyond the sensational. On this second edition, I sit down with thought leaders and we discuss their leadership journeys. Don't miss out on this exciting second edition of the South Africa series.
Welcome back to the third and final segment of No Limit this morning here. And of course, we are talking of mentorship and mentorship in Africa. And of course, just before we went for the break, we were talking of money, we were talking of expenditure, we were talking of the flamboyant prophets, how they are spending money. And now let's just talk about Bible school.
Yeah.
How important is one to attend? I mean, I've been called by God. How important is it for one to go through the Bible seminary?
It's extremely important because even Jesus trained. When you look at the Bible very carefully, the Bible said at a point in time, David has to train his soldiers. David trained his soldiers. I believe that everything you have been called into has its knowledge. So if you have been called into doing the work of God, there is a way we do it. And so what Bible school does is that he teaches you, number one, the knowledge of the Bible, and also teaches you the way of doing things. And thirdly, a life that the cord must be able to have. So these are the three segments of a Bible school. So it's extremely important. The reason why there are a lot of mismatch and people do what they want and whatever is because many of them are not trained to do what they are doing. And they are not also humble enough to submit themselves to go under training. Because you need humility to be trained. But our generation are very proud.
Now, you're talking of pride. What are you doing as a mentor to bring this down, to break it down, so that people are not proud? Because I mean, you'd actually find that in our day and time, we do have association like Zimbabwe Council of Churches, but sometimes you would actually find that someone from the prophetic ministry, apostolic ministry is not found there, registered there. What are you doing as a mentor?
In my small way, with the people I mentor, I try to instill humility in them. I tell them the way up is down. And humility is not weakness, it's strength under control. So anybody that is not able to bring strength under control is not fit to lead. Because fame has a way to turn a man. Money has a way to turn a man. Even the people, they will say, Baba is anointed. If you're not very careful, you end yourself in destruction. So everybody must be able to humble yourself for the work of the ministry. And one of the signs is to submitting yourself and going through training.
That's submission. Now, we have so many pastors, prophets today. Maybe some of them are under your mentorship. We have some of them committing, some of them fornicating, some of them are adulterers. As a father, do you discipline, or you just say it's up to them? Because I remember in 1988, the fall of the evangelist Jimmy Swaggart. I think the likes of Assemblies of God, they put him under discipline. Are you there to discipline as well?
I have a different opinion about that because I don't want people to do things by compulsion. They have to do it because they have to do it. Somebody must not say that, Baba is here, so I'm not talking. It shouldn't be like that. You should know. It's not my presence that is letting you to do the right thing. It's not because you're going to be punished. That is when you have to do the right thing. You must be able to know to do the right thing yourself. When holiness is honest, because if the person cannot fear God, who is me?
You're the father.
If I'm a father physically, I'm not going to determine your judgment. If your heavenly father, you can't fear him, and you are fearing me, it is not honesty in righteousness. So I want you to be honest that even if I'm not there, you can still do the right thing. So I teach people, fear God, not man. Fear God, not man. So in my church, to be honest, we will not let you play a major role, but we will not say, don't bring offering, sit at the back. We don't do that. We leave you to you, your God. So if you sin and you come to me, the first thing is that go to God and ask for forgiveness. And if you have to stand before the pulpit and apologize, do that.
But as a mentor, because this person is under your guidance, why are you not going to put them under submission? If I'm going to be under you, why can't you put me under submission to say, son, you're not going to be preaching for the next 2 years because we have to get you back into line?
Yeah, I'm not going... the reason why I will not let you preach, that is why I told you that I will not let you play a role in the church. So if you are singing, you will stop. If you are preaching, you will stop. You are doing that so that you work on yourself from that guilt. And because every act will unleash a kind of a spirit. So we give you that time to work on yourself. But there are people, they put a punishment on you to say we are not going to receive your tithe. You shouldn't dance when they are dancing. You should sit at the back. That is what I frown against. But when you are under my mentorship, I'll give you the guidelines. This one is not good for ministry. Don't go for somebody's wife. Don't fornicate. Don't lie. Don't steal money. I will tell you that and leave you to your God.
Now, your guidance.
Because I'm not going to be there the rest of your life. At a point in time, my fatherhood or mentorship around your life can cease. So, but you have to be who you are for yourself.
So what do you advise someone who is single, probably in their 20s, early 30s? They want to come and start ministry. Do you somehow advise them to first get married before they start ministry, or it's just you can start ministry?
I tell people that it's a very good question. This is a very good question. I tell people that starting a ministry with family is very difficult than when you're alone.
But isn't it that when the wife comes, she might want to come and challenge things? Isn't there an advantage whereby we start together?
Marriage is not a guarantee to stop fornication. There are men that are married and still committing fornication. If you cannot be disciplined when you are single, you can't be disciplined after marriage. So you have to discipline yourself. You have to discipline yourself. Are you getting what I'm saying?
Yes.
So I tell people, when you have a discipline, because you know, every ministry would take the shape and the character of the one who started it. So if you're unfit to start a ministry, it will bring frustration to you. And one of the ways to be unfit is indisciplined life. So you should be able to discipline yourself. How do you do that? You discipline yourself with the opposite sex. You discipline yourself with money. You manage how you manage fame very well, and how to manage situation and how to solve them. If you cannot do this, you are not qualified. You are not fit. You are not ready for ministry.
Okay, we've just had this conversation. This is April 2023. And Zimbabwe, as a nation, between July and August are going to elections. As a prophet of God, what is the outcome?
The Lord have told me the outcome, but I will say it's public.
I would love to hear it today.
So you have to come and see me at home.
No, we want it on Heart and Soul.
Because the thing about it is that God has not forgotten about Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe is still on the mind of God. I see a new Zimbabwe coming with glory and light. That is all.
Thank you so much for joining us, Prophet. This has been another edition of No Limit.